ranging from DEI to federal worker layoffs on this President's Day. Several hundred demonstrators also spoke out against the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency, the office created to reduce wasteful government spending. Now, this also accusing the Trump administration of not having accountability and the misuse of power. Meanwhile, back here at home, hundreds of people coming out on this President's Day to rally against President Donald Trump and his administration. The rally took place in El Presidio Park in downtown. News 4 Tucson's political specialist Eric Fink was there and joins us live right now with more from what the protesters had to say and also reaction from the other side of the aisle. Eric.
Good evening, Angelique. It was a very large protest here earlier this afternoon. Hundreds, perhaps upwards of 1,000. We don't have a number of Southern Arizonans who were out here in El Presidio Park earlier this afternoon, but they all stood united. Everyone united against President Trump and the actions of his administration. This protest began promptly at noon on this President's Day. I'm told this rally was organized by the Tucson chapter of 5051. 50 states, 50 protests, one day. It's Tucson's version of the No Kings on President's Day rally taking place across the country. By and large, the Southern Arizonans believe President Donald Trump is abusing his power. They say they're angry to see the influence of Elon Musk and how the White House has been responding to him. And they fear the checks and balances are severely bruised in Washington. These Tucsonans, these protesters, concerned about DOGE or the Department of Governmental Efficiency and more potential layoffs of federal workers, including those in the civil service. Now, you'll hear from one protester who is grateful to be alongside a number of other Tucsonans and neighbors today. And then you'll hear from Pima County GOP Chair Kathleen Wynn, who has a here.
There are any people with the background of the Tucsonans who are willing to stand up, because I don't see it in Washington, D.C. And I am so happy to be here among all these people who feel and give a darn about America. Stand up for what you believe and take a stand.
They have the right to protest. I don't have to agree with what they're doing. I believe they have the right to do what they're doing as long as no one gets harmed, as long as there's no violence. They absolutely, under this Constitution of this nation, we all have the right to speak out. It doesn't make one side good and one side bad. It just means that we disagree.
And these rallies taking place across the nation today, including a rally up at the state capitol in Phoenix. We're live tonight here in downtown Tucson. I'm going to thank News 4 Tucson. Angelique, let's go back.
Eric, thank you. Meanwhile, the Department of Government Efficiency is seeking access to the IRS's highly sensitive taxpayer data system. That would mean being able to access private data on millions of Americans' tax returns, social security numbers, and banking information. A software engineer working under DOGE is expected to be granted access to the system soon and then will sign an agreement requiring him to maintain confidentiality with information and then destroy those files upon leaving the IRS. Attorney General Chris Mays and the chairman of the House Public Safety and Law Enforcement Committee call for approval of a bill that prevents law enforcement from being persecuted when shooting down drones used for drug smuggling and other crimes within 30 miles of the state's southern border with Mexico. HB 2733 also aims at strengthening our border security by helping law enforcement combat drug cartels. Attorney General Chris Mays says Border Patrol already has the technology to bring down the drones, but it's not enough.
It is a necessary step in the fight against international drug trafficking and critical to our effort to protect all Arizonans.
Mays went on to say giving law enforcement the tools they need to protect Arizonans is and should be a bipartisan effort. Meanwhile, there is a proposal to scale back permission to shoot down drones to 15 miles within the state's southern border with Mexico. Tucson Sector Border Patrol reported Mexican officials seized 2 assault-style rifles and hundreds of ammunition rounds after spotting a cartel scout just south of the U.S.-Mexico border near Sasabe. This is a picture of the firearms posted on Border Patrol's X account. The ammo includes rounds used for high-powered rifles. Border Patrol goes on to say the sites where the guns were found were being used for human smuggling operations along the road leading up to the border. Now, News 4 Tucson reached out to Border Patrol regarding when this incident happened, but we're still waiting for their response. No word if the suspects were arrested or any charges they could be facing. For continuing coverage on the border crisis, stay with us here on News 4 Tucson, on air, online, and on your mobile device. Well, LaCombe's Bakery and Donuts near Alvernon and 22nd Street Mall, they're closing for good after serving Tucson for 90 years. Now, in a post made earlier today on the iconic Tucson Donut Shop's Facebook page, they said in part, quote, "With a heavy heart, we announce LaCombe's Bakery will be closing its doors this Sunday, February 23rd, or sooner, depending on remaining supplies and staffing. Thank you for your support over the years. It's been a pleasure serving you." The popular bakery did not explain why it's closing. The closure comes after the donut shop relocated from the south side when bought by new owners back in 2018. All right, let's head outside right now and get a live look of downtown there from our Storm Tracker 4 Sky Cam network on this Monday. Let's also check in right now with Storm Tracker 4 meteorologist Daniel McFarland, getting a glimpse of what's ahead and maybe kind of toasty, Daniel.
Yeah, definitely going to be toasty for February, that's for sure. And today was kind of what we were looking at out there because we had highs in the upper 70s. Now, tomorrow's going to be down to the mid 70s, so a little bit of a difference out there. But next week, we're expecting even warmer temperatures. Something else we're tracking for you during the day tomorrow is going to be the winds. Right now, we are seeing consistent winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour. I'm expecting that number to increase for tomorrow out there. But current temperatures for everyone are going to be in the mid 70s. You do see 77 at Casa Sadoves to be the warmest one. The airport was at 78 not too long ago for their warmest temperature. And as you look around at the rest of southern Arizona, 75 for Tucson and Green Valley, of 70 for Sierra Vista, Wilcox, far above average, sitting around 65 degrees. So we are seeing warm temperatures for just about everyone. We're going to see a little bit of a drop tomorrow. We're talking about highs, say, around 75, so nothing really big, Angelique. And as we get into next week, that's going to be the real big warm-up. More information on that here in a few minutes.
All right, and for the latest weather updates while on the go, you can download our free Storm Tracker 4 app, use your cell phone camera, scan the QR code on your screen. It takes you straight to the App Store, Google Play Store, and you can start that download. Well, right now, at least 15 people are injured in conditions still unknown following a Delta passenger jet plane flying from Minneapolis and then landed and then flipped upside down at a Toronto, Canada, Pearson airport. Now, meanwhile, Federal Aviation Administration's officials are confirming there were no deaths. Now, this video shows Flight 4919's plane on the snowy runway as fire crews appear to be putting out a fire in that area. Now, we are told that the jet started to have problems during landing. The Toronto airport officials say that all passengers and crew members on board this flight, they were accounted for. Stay with us here on News 4 Tucson as we continue to learn more. Meanwhile, a small plane made an emergency landing in a snowfield near Flagstaff after experiencing a mechanical issue. That's according to the Coconino Sheriff's Office. Now, here's a picture of that single-engine plane from CCSO. We're told the plane was traveling from Nevada to Oklahoma before the unexpected landing. The pilot and passenger were not injured. The National Transportation Safety Board will be taking over this investigation regarding this incident. And the White House has fired hundreds of Federal Aviation Administration employees just over the weekend. Those layoffs included many workers who install, inspect, and maintain air traffic control communications, radio, and even computer systems. The Professional Aviation Safety Specialists Union says several hundred workers started receiving layoff notices just last Friday. The firings come after the Trump administration is now taking more steps to downsize the federal government. Well, more grocery stores are putting limits on how many eggs that you can buy amid the ongoing shortage brought on by the bird flu, killing millions of hens. Walmart is now limiting customers to 60 eggs per purchase. Meanwhile, Kroger, also known as Fry's, and Aldis have 2 a dozen limit per trip in some stores. Whole Foods and Costco, they let you buy 3 dozen per purchase. Sam's Club is limiting customers to 2 cartons of eggs. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates egg prices will rise by over 20% just this year. Well, the United States and Russian officials are now set to begin peace negotiations starting tomorrow in Saudi Arabia, aiming to end the war in Ukraine. Saudi officials will serve as mediators between the 2 countries. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine will not be participating in the Saudi Arabia peace talks, despite President Trump confirming he will be involved. Russia's Secretary of State and the Russian Foreign Minister also telling CNN that there could also be talks about lifting sanctions and economic cooperation between Russia and the U.S. Well, 4 deputy mayors for New York City Mayor Eric Adams, they have resigned. Today, Mayor Adams confirmed the reports of those resignations. According to the New York Times, the resignations are due to an alleged quid pro quo between Adams and President Trump. Now, it further alleges Mayor Adams agrees to help the Trump administration on cracking down on illegal immigration in exchange for having corruption charges filed against him be dropped. Meanwhile, a group has asked the judge overseeing Adams' criminal case if they can file to block the DOJ from dismissing his case. Well, Mexican singer and songwriter Paquita La del Barrio has died at 77 years old. Her passing was announced on her official social media accounts and confirmed by her representatives. Now, this comes after the 2-time Grammy nominee faced a number of recent health problems. She was born as Francisca Viveros Barradas, captivating audiences with songs of heartbreak, even betrayal, including anthems such as Rata de Dos Patas. Coming up next on News 4 Tucson at 5, Tucson's bobcat population is alive and well. More on how this year's report says the feisty cats are thriving here in southern Arizona. Plus, rescue crews are not giving up finding survivors after deadly storms that hammer parts of the south over the weekend. News 4 Tucson at 5. We'll be right back.
Always tracking, always alerting,
Did see some
always keeping you safe.
severe weather, 60 mile per hour wind.
Areas impacted. It's on the way.
The Storm Tracker 4 Weather Team, on air, online, and on all our platforms.
This is Joe Window, and I'd like to show you our easy-to-use website. Click on the big red button to set up a free in-home estimate. So go to our website or give us a call at 294 Jingle Time.
Behind the scenes during News 4 Tucson. Tucson live at 5 p.m. MST.
My life was turned upside down when my husband was killed in a motorcycle accident. The insurance company had the nerve to blame him because he wasn't wearing a helmet. I felt lost and alone until I found Zane's Law. They won my case and I was awarded $1 million. I don't know how I would have managed without them by my side. Call Zane's Law.
Stuck paying with an old phone? Don't be. Switch to Verizon. We'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 on us. For a limited time, get it on any plan as low as $30 per line.
Reimagine exceptional with the 2024 Buick Envision. With advanced technology and breathtaking clarity, and quiet serenity within. Experience confident driving and all-wheel drive that takes you wherever you need to go with everyday communication. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR, plus no monthly payments for 90 days on this 2024 Buick Envision.
This is Joe Window, and I'd like to show you our easy-to-use website. Click on the big red button to set up a free in-home estimate. So go to our website or give us a call at 298-DOOR. Jingle Time. Much more than just windows and doors. Tucson Window and Door.
And welcome back. Well, Tucson's urban bobcat population appears to be thriving here. That's according to this year's public report by Bobcats in Tucson Research Project. The study goes on to say that most female bobcats raised at least 30 kittens from 2021 to 2024, making their population to remain stable with 84% survival rates. The study was done on a 31 square mile region just east of the Tucson Mountains and Saguaro National Park. Traps were set in areas frequented by bobcats, such as wash bottoms and private properties. Well, the state's tallest mural is coming to Tucson. That's according to the local artist, Pagic. In a Facebook post made February 12th, Pagic says that his team is starting a 153-foot saguaro mural that will stand among the Tucson city skyline. Patrick has been working on murals for over 16 years. Most of his work is based here in Tucson, but he also has traveled quite a lot, including Phoenix, Los Angeles, and Vegas. However, his work in Tucson is some of his favorite because of his connection to the city. No word on when that mural will be finished. All right, well, drum roll, please, because we are calling on all music lovers for this year's Battle of the Bands. If you are between the ages of 13 and 18, you are eligible for the competition. We're told grand prize winners receive a show promoted by Best Life Presents, an
Wow.
appearance on a local radio show, and much more. Interested bands can now apply online through March 14th, and you can find all those details on how to register on our website at
UA.com.
Coming up on
Yep.
News 4 Tucson at 5, officials are now still urgently looking for people in harm's way after a deadly storm rips through parts of the South. But still, on Nightly News.
When news breaks, News 4 Tucson is there, live on scene.
The latest
Yep.
details in this shocking case. The attack
News never stops.
Nope.
And neither do we. For breaking news when it happens, turn to News
News
4
for
Tucson.
Tucson.
This year, why not do something good with your tax
Right.
refund? It's as easy as checking a box. Whether you prepare your own taxes or have someone do it for you, mark Arizona Wildlife on your state tax return to donate part or all of your refund and help conserve and protect Arizona's wildlife for future generations. The Arizona Game and Fish Department is self-funded, so your contribution can make a real difference. Learn more at makeamarkforwildlife.com.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the train is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. On the legend, Toyota Trust. Right now, lease a new Tacoma for just $259 per month or get 3.99% APR financing for 60 months on a new Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
If you have a history of trauma that is keeping you from living your best
Go
life,
to the rival group.
passionate
Great
care
breaking
is
news for
available.
News for Tucson.
Scan the QR
Also
code
News
to
for
learn how
Tucson.
Oliver
Local
Behavioral
News.
Health can help.
You can watch it Fridays at 4, Mondays at 5 or 2 to 6. And short newscasts on Mondays at 5, Tuesdays at 6. The short newscast, and Fridays are long newscasts at 4 with KOD 13, and short newscasts on Mondays at News 4 at 5, and Tuesdays are short newscasts on Tuesdays at 6 from K9.
Environment where seniors can thrive. At
And
Starfish,
yeah,
we are
that was
dedicated to
live
the highest
streamed on
quality of care
Fridays
with a
News and
variety
Church
of
News
activities and
Make
programs
sure
to
to
keep our
subscribe to our
residents
channel.
active and engaged. Since everyone is different, we tailor our care to meet your individual needs.
For the
If
wide
you're
local
looking for a
breaking
community
news.
where you or a loved one can live with dignity and respect, then Starfish is the perfect place for you.
Come visit Starfish today or learn more at starfishcarehomes.com.
You're watching News 4 Tucson.
So,
Live
5.
with Sean
I'm new.
Angelique
News
Luzon
time.
and Matt Rowe.
Well,
News 4
for
Tucson.
Tucson.
And the string of deadly winter storms that may have been causing so much misery and travel chaos took a tragic turn just over the weekend. Officials say at least 11 people have been killed in Kentucky, even Georgia, and the danger isn't even over yet. Kathy Park has more from Kentucky.
As you can see, the sun is out, the rain has moved out and the water has receded, and now that the floodwaters are out of here, it is now revealing the mess left behind. We're seeing several inches of mud here in Hazard, Kentucky. A lot of these businesses had to evacuate this weekend. Now they're back, starting the cleanup process. We have seen strangers, community members, neighbors all pitching in, trying to clean up, saving anything they can. The governor of Kentucky said that 11 people have tragically lost their lives in this natural disaster. That number might climb. And he also said that the state is currently in its search and rescue phase. Take a listen.
We're still in the search and rescue phase of this emergency. We still have multiple different missions that are underway. There are still people that are in harm's way. And it's very important today that we continue to remind folks not to drive through standing water, not to drive around barricades. They are there for a reason.
And this weekend, there were some spots in Kentucky where we saw 6 inches of rain, and this caused some significant flooding in creeks as well as rivers. We are right by the North Fork of the Kentucky River right now, and it is still running pretty high. The governor mentioned that there were over 1,000 rescues in just a 24-hour time frame, and also the danger certainly isn't over yet as the cleanup now begins. Back to you.
All right, time to check weather right now. Let's start track before meteorologist Daniel McFarland. And conditions completely different over here in our neck of the woods. I mean, we're talking 80s, Daniel.
Yeah, 80s for next week. Not a sign of rain either. I know people want to have
No.
that, but it's not expected to be here at any point over the next 10 days. But as Angelique talked about, the warmer temperatures are going to be really creeping up throughout this week. And then eventually for next week, we could be seeing some of the warmest temperatures we've had so far during the winter. So this is going to be breezy out there for tomorrow. We had a little bit of a preview of that earlier today with some gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour. I do think that's going to be getting a tad bit worse out there. As the sun starts to go down, you can see all the clouds moving through. This is going to be that front passing us by right now. In fact, if you take a wider look at the entire state, the front's almost right here at the Four Corners, starting to make its way into New Mexico. And what this means for us is that the clouds should be out of here in about 2 to 3 hours, with a few hanging through there overnight tonight. And we're also going to be having breezy conditions for tomorrow. So that's going to be the main impact we can expect for your Tuesday. The winds could be picking up to in between, say, 10, 15 miles per hour during the morning hours, but then things are going to change up during the afternoon. Closer towards the border of Mexico, Nogales, Sierra Vista, Bisbee, these are the areas I'm going to be highlighting to have the strongest winds for tomorrow, mostly based off of elevation. It's something we do tend to see quite a bit this time of year. And we're also going to be having gusts there as high as, say, 30 to 35 miles per hour during the afternoon. Tucson's isn't going to be that bad. We are looking at gusts around 20 to 25, but it is going to be noticeably different versus what we had out there earlier today. So this is something to keep in the back of your head if you're making outdoor plans for your Tuesday. Other than that, things are going to be pretty good with the winds for the rest of the week. It's going to get very stable out there, and usually when you talk about stability, you talk about the warmer temperatures. And that's something we are certainly going to see, because tomorrow is going to be the coolest day we've had.
Wow,
It's going to
75.
be the coolest day we're expecting this week. 75 for a high temperature, aside from the breezier conditions. Something else of note is that the clouds we're seeing right now, and they're going to be breaking up overnight, they should be gone. So it is going to be mostly sunny by the time we get to the afternoon, looking pretty good at that point in time. Next weather maker for us is going to be another low pressure center. This is the one we're dealing with right now. That's going to be out of here. The one we're currently tracking for you by the end of the week is still developing over there in the Pacific Ocean. So it's not entirely clear yet the main impact from us. I do think it's going to be breezy on Friday, though, so we're keeping an eye on that. But what we want to see is this low to potentially get a little bit closer towards southern Arizona. That can help bring down our temperatures just a bit, but just like this front we're dealing with right now, it's not necessarily going to be the strongest system passing us by. And that is not really going to be changing our temperatures too much. But if it can get just a little bit closer, it can go a long way in helping us out there. So that's going to be something we're looking at as we work our way towards the end of the week. And then we do see a ridge building right around Saturday or Sunday. What that means for you is some very warm temperatures. So we're talking highs in between about 80, 83, we talked about. Next week could be in the 80s throughout the entire time. So if you think this week's going to be warm, just wait until next week.
Yes.
All right, time to use those ACs maybe.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
Coming up next on News 4 Tucson at 5, how you can help high school students stay warm this winter season.
Yes.
Also, here's what we're working on tonight for News 4 Tucson at 6. First, a new push to amend legislative immunity after a third Arizona lawmaker avoids a speeding ticket. Plus, a look ahead at what's on the agenda for Wednesday's Tucson City Council meeting. We're going to have all those stories plus much more coming up on News 4 Tucson at 6. Stay with us. We're back after the break.
We're back at the break from a few more news segments before News 4 Tucson 5 and my last news on 5.
APR plus current owners and lessees of an eligible competitive luxury van vehicle get 2,000 purchase allowance on the 2025 Cadillac Lyriq.
Does your home need new pipes? Don't panic, call Cummings. Hi, I'm Jake Cummings, owner of Cummings Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We're proud to offer the no-dig permalayer system. Here's how it works. After cleaning out debris, we inject permalayer inside your old pipes, even if the pipe is broken. This high-tech solution hardens to create entirely new pipe. It saves you thousands and lasts 50 years. Having sewer problems? Call Cummings for a free no-dig permalayer estimate.
Press conference with last year's news. Some of last year's news. This YouTube news. Monday, Tuesday.
Anything you wanna do this?
Not bad.
When you
From March
grow
fifth.
older,
On March 5th,
like your favorite tradition never gets old.
Tuesday tonight.
Our care can get you there.
Alexis and I watched lawyers get out there and say they're gonna get you a fast, easy, serious injury settlement, and we're like, what? You're like going to your cardiologist and asking for a fast, easy triple bypass. Hi, I'm Mark Fryer.
And I'm Alexis Fryer. We're the husband and wife law team. Fast and easy settlement actually is less work for the lawyer and less money for the client.
And you know who promises you that? People who don't want to get out there and fight for you when you need them. Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Style or substance. Somehow it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0.9% APR 2025 Sierra 1500 models. Or current eligible GMC owners get over $7,800 total value on select Sierra 1500 models.
Share the
Well, we have been experiencing a mild condition right now when it comes to weather, but we all know that can quickly change here in southern Arizona. That's why News 4 Tucson wants to partner with you to collect new blankets for those in need. The blankets will be distributed to youth on their own, high school students, and we hope to reach our goal of 500 new blankets. News 4 Tucson will be accepting these new blankets right here at our News 4 Tucson studios through February 26th. All right, take a look at this. This story is really bananas and was certainly a first for the New Hampshire Fish and Game law enforcement after they responded to a local grocery store where one employee had called in about a surprise stowaway, a snake found hidden inside a box of bananas. The cat snake was 2 feet long and mildly venomous. That it's also native to Ecuador. Now, officials have since found him a new home with rainforest reptile shows.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. Quick look at the 10-day forecast. It's going to show wind for your Tuesday. Still warm throughout the week, but stopping in the 70s. Big time to watch is going to be next week, Angelique, with highs staying in the 80s from Saturday all the way through next Friday.
Yes.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Nightly News is next.
Yes.
We'll see you back at 6 o'clock.
See you 6 o'clock.
Something I want to talk to you about.
And that's what's up for last year's news.
Isn't that where the dog beds go?
Yeah.